We are getting attacked on just about everything under the Bill of Rights from both sides. This is a straight 5 alarm fire alert. While you are busy being distracted by the antics by this White House, Virginia has just dropped a nuke on your 2A rights and your sanity if you're a toy enthusiast. After revealing the new changes that has been submitted to the committee, where it will either pass or fail. Everything from restricting sales, distribution, possession of assault weapons, safe storage requirements, ghost guns, taxes, places of carry, and everything in between. Let's get to it. No easing into this. Either way, it's hitting hard the 2A community. So stick around and smash that like button.
Serious grown man in the studio, giving you my thesis, not the trends. That's my lane, and I'm driving in it. No shortcuts, just necessary stops along the way. Listen while you drive, and when you hit that red light, smash like and subscribe. If you get lost in the hustle and bustle of your day, lock back into Thesis of the World as you wind down your night. Welcome back to Thesis of the World. Let's get into it.
Thousands could be eating ramen noodles in the slammer for decades by these proposed Senate and House bills. The anti-2A groups coming for everything, like exes doing a divorce settlement when property and assets are involved. But our team of fighters, like the NRA, never mind, since it was. With recent events, those they should have been out front and very vocal on, but they have not. Others have echoed the same sentiments. So let's just stick with some hard hitters like the Virginia Citizen Defense League, Gun Owners of America, Second Amendment Foundation, Firearms Policy Coalition, on and on, along with various state-specific organizations. Virginia is a state where other states look to, in some regards, as a measuring guide, and sometimes used to enact the same or similar policies, laws, regulations, etc. Senate Bill 173 and Senate Bill 229 ban firearms and knives longer than 3.5 inches from mental health and behavioral development facilities. And honestly, out of everything on the list, this is the one thing I actually agree with. I mean, who wakes up and thinks, you know what this therapy session needs? A Glock and a Bowie knife. If your business model involves emotional breakdowns and padded rooms, maybe let's not add firearms to the mix. If people are there because things have already gone off the rails, maybe don't add weapons to the equation. This should be a no-brainer, no pun intended. Senate Bill 323 and House Bill 40 seek to make unfinished receivers, frames, and unserialized firearms illegal. This also includes unfinished blocks sold to become firearms, which would now need to be serialized. In other words, if a chunk of metal looks like it has potential, the government wants its birth certificate. This bill specifically targets homemade firearm builders because clearly the real threat is Bob in his garage with a drill press and a YouTube tutorial. Apparently, raw materials are guilty until proven otherwise. If you squint at a block of metal and think that could become something, congratulations, it's now regulated. At this point, we're not regulating guns, we're regulating ideas. House Bill 332 slaps a 500 tax on suppressors. Now this one here gets the goat. Yup, it's back. The federal government literally removed the suppressor tax as of January 1st, 2026. And the state looked at that and said, well, since you don't need it, slide that $500 over here. Welcome to the refund and recharge era of taxation. Same cost, just on a different menu.
Damn!
Senate Bill 805 seeks to impose an 11% excise tax on firearms and ammunition manufacturers for large sales in Virginia. And as always, this won't magically come out of thin air. Manufacturers will either avoid the state entirely or stay put and pass the cost straight down to the consumer. Because spoiler alert, Corporations don't eat taxes, they forward them. And at this point, no one should be confused about who actually pays the taxes. Senate Bill 496 and House Bill 130 aim to enhance security by requiring all firearms, not just handguns, to be stored in a locked, hard-sided container and kept out of plain view in an unattended vehicle. Now, sure, if a firearm is visible and gets stolen, that's already a problem. But House Bill 130 takes it a step further. Now you're looking at a $500 citation and your vehicle getting towed. So congratulations. Your car gets impounded, your wallet gets lighter, and the criminal still drives away just fine. Public safety achieved? I mock this law, but seriously, if you are an EDC, you are more prone to be mindful of storing your handgun in a proper containment if you are entering into places that does not permit weapons. It's like when I would conduct traffic stops that lead to an arrest and search incident to arrest was conducted. I would find shake and seeds all over the place. So for me, this is a law for those who are riding dirty because they lack the muscle memory to have these security practices. Senate Bill 272 and House Bill 1115 restricts firearms at public educational facilities unless they are part of a curriculum or activity. So firearms are banned except when they're not. The only handgun that should be permitted is those who are law enforcement, because apparently the determining factor isn't safety, is whether the gun is holding a syllabus. House Bill 1181 imposes a 5-day waiting period before a firearm purchase or transfer. And somehow we're supposed to believe this wasn't aimed directly at gun shows events that typically last 2 days. So unless you figured out how to stretch a weekend into a work week, this is less about safety and more about discouragement. The biggest score for the anti-gun crew have always been how to cripple, impede, or dismantle the buy and sells at gun shows.
Give me a gun. You ain't got no license.
Senate Bill 749 kills the so-called grandfather clause. Every magazine over 10 rounds becomes illegal as of July 1st, 2026. No buyback, no grace period, no registry. Just instant criminal. Possession is a Class 1 misdemeanor per magazine, up to 12 months in jail, and a $2,500 fine for each one. Handguns, rifles, all of it, which means roughly 75% of Virginia gun owners just woke up as felons overnight. And let's be clear, gun laws aren't written for criminals. Criminals don't follow gun laws. They don't check capacity limits. They don't care about your compliance. So when someone kicks in your door with a drum mag and bad intentions, the state expects you to politely defend your life with 10 rounds and a receipt. Check this out. There is absolutely nothing a 10-round magazine will be able to do with the rounds the criminals are invading with. Senate Bill 115 and House Bill 113, Reciprocity. Virginia is one of the few states that generally recognizes permits from other states. But once it revokes that recognition, those states return the favor. It's a legal version of fine, I won't talk to you either. And this back and forth is something gun owners have been complaining about forever. What's wild is this. If you possess a valid driver's license, you can drive coast to coast without a second thought. No state trooper pulls you over to ask if your steering wheel is legal in their jurisdiction. But your constitutional right under the Second Amendment, that one apparently expires the moment you cross a state line. So now you're doing weapon, magazine, and ammunition gymnastics, different storage rules, different definitions, different requirements, hoping you didn't miss a footnote on page 37 of that state's code. Lock this, separate that, store ammo here, magazine there. Pray you interpreted it correctly. And the irony? The state is totally fine with you operating the other deadly weapon you're in control of, the 3,000-pound vehicle you're driving at 70 miles an hour. That's not even a constitutional right. That's a privilege. But somehow, that gets nationwide reciprocity. Bottom line, driver's license, universal, constitutional, rights, regional. Crossing state lines shouldn't turn you into a legal escape room contestant. Rights shouldn't stop at the welcome sign. Gun laws change every mile. Gravity doesn't, and neither does your car. Senate Bill 727 will forbid the carrying of shotguns with detachable mags and semi-automatic rifles on any public street, alley road, right-of-way, park, or any place that is open to the public. Previous ban only applied to DC area. The proposal is convoluted once you get in the weeds of it, because it has the terminology assault weapons. That will leave questions to other firearms that are marketed as a pistol but would fall under this new proposal as an assault rifle by characteristics. It also contradicts case law precedent in the Bruin case, where a citizen has the right to carry firearm in public for self-defense. That, in essence, means it will be a free fall for those wishing to commit thefts from business. It will be a billboard sign welcoming those to come steal from me. I have no gun to protect myself.
What?
Senate Bill 34-8, storage requirement inside residence, states when firearm is not secured on your persons to be locked and unloaded. Yep, you heard me, unloaded and stored in a biometric safe. As a homeowner, what is generally the rule of thumb? Firearm is loaded with rounds. When the adrenaline and the mixture of fear kick in and you need to access your weapon, the reliability of biometric safes have too high of a first-time access failure rate, not to mention the upkeep with batteries. As someone who personally have several biometric safes, there are rare occasions that I am able to access it the first time, and that is with a slow right placement of digit or digits. Imagine, in a stressful situation, I totally approve of keeping firearms locked away from kids and anyone else who does not have the authority to access them. But let's be reasonable. You are now adding an additional obstacle with it being not loaded and ready to deploy when seconds count. Senate Bill 643 and Senate Bill 518 permit to purchase systems. Approved training course. Qualification must be with 10 round live fire. State applicable fees. Processing 45 days. Permit to purchase with mandatory fingerprint checks. Age restrictions 21 and under prohibited. If you are someone who is a victim of any type of domestic violence situation or one that would warrant the handgun for protection from imminent threats, waiting period, to me, this is called a cooling off period, which is 2 months before you can purchase your handgun. It's like if you are in a precarious situation, tell the offender he or she has to wait 2 months before they can try to eliminate or harm you. This is absolutely ludicrous. It creates a registry that will be maintained by local law enforcement of permit issuances and denials. If you have a valid permit, you would be exempt from the one handgun a month purchase. So not only will you not be able to get a handgun to protect yourself within a few weeks, but the number of purchases is restricted unless you have a valid permit, and then the huge database registry. This is bad, and silence on what looks like will have a good chance of passing cannot go without making our voices heard. So contact your representatives, either by snail mail, email, phone calls, and let your voice be heard.
Thank you for locking back into Thesis of the World. Serious grown man in the studio, driving in my lane, giving you the thesis, not the trends, seeing the world through different prisms. If this helped you see this diaspora a little clearer, or made you pause and rethink, pass along my coordinates. And most important, smash like and subscribe. Don't exit without choosing a direction. It helps grow this platform. And the algorithm will respond in kind by pushing this to more like-minded viewers. Until we meet again, let the echoes of freedom break through the silence and the chaos. Remind them who we are and that we will never surrender, even if we surrender to ourselves for a short period of time. I'll see you at the next stop, and I'm out.
Melody for the winds of justice's wishes. Through discord's haze, a melody